Alright, so I wanted to show you guys how I do the extended background thing, because I think it's pretty cool and super fun. So what I'm going to do is copy that, I'm going to flip this around, yep, and I'm going to rasterize this crap, rasterize this layer. Now my goal is to you can see reflect this and then use this texture, but we have all the products on here, so let's fix that. And thankfully Photoshop has this awesome content aware deleting thing which works fabulous for crap like this. So you just got to make sure to get the entire image, the shadow, all that kind of stuff. You can only do little chunks at a time. Sometimes the app will get confused, especially like with this cord that goes off the composition. That's okay. And these cowbell things, get rid of you. Now you can see we're making very quick progress here, which is really nice. And that's good, but when we zoom out, you'll see some of the issues that are being created by this very quick way of doing things. Wow, that worked. All right. And this guy. Delete you. Yep, looking good. Weird stone thing. Get rid of you. Peace. And little plant doodad. Alright, so now we have the starting point for this, and as you zoom out you can see the texture is kind of all over the place. There's light parts and dark parts, and you know, it kind of doesn't really make that much sense, and especially when I put it against you know, the bottom image. What I'm trying to do is extend the background up, and you can see it feels like there's a different light source, and since we reflected the image vertically, we're getting the symmetry that looks weird, and there's this crease almost, so we're going to fix that. But I'm going to create another folder here and call it assembly, hide the old one, and what I'm going to do here is just simply merge those layers, and so now I know I can work with these together. And the first thing I want to do is try to normalize the color in this space. So there's a space right here where the image is reflected and then added onto, and I want to normalize that, and you'll see why in a second. So the other thing too is we have this light bulb wire, so we got to take care of that. And the best way I know how to do this is the healing brush. So I'm going to take and source material from above it and start just healing the crap out of it. And it works pretty well when you have a very lightly textured background like this. If you have something that's a little bit more detailed, you'll find that it's a lot harder. You're going to want to pattern stamp it out, and especially for here. So I'm going to try to see if I can content aware get rid of you. And no. So what I'm going to do here instead is I'm going to, instead of the healing brush, I'm going to use the clone stamp tool, pardon me, and get a little bit, and I'm going to sample from nearby. I'm going to crank up the opacity a bit here, and all I'm trying to do is just shade in this. So we're going to get rid of this guy. You can kind of see him going away. We need to make sure to zoom out a couple times just to make sure we're not screwing up the picture globally. And let me keep at him. I mean, it's doing pretty well here. I got to make the brush a little bit harder and smaller. Okay, now remember we have a big image here, so we don't need to be too fine, but we need to get as much as we can, and you can kind of see it's giving me a preview. Let's go. Let's see if that did the trick. All right. So at a distance, you can see that works pretty well, but now we have this schmutz. So let's get rid of that schmutz, and the healing brush is the anti-schmutzer. So let's take that out, and you'll see, I mean, it's getting rid of it very easily. But you got to watch out though. The texture, we're starting to lose some of the texture in the background. So if I look at the background of here, for instance, in between the product and the actual image, you can see there's this really nice, nearly uniform, but it's a noise. It's artifacting from the JPEG and also from the digital camera. And so if I look in the artificial area, you can see it's a different texture, and some places have more than others, and that's creating discrepancy. And so what I like to do is I like to just take the area I'm going to, the sensitive area, and copy and paste it and move it around and see how the color changes as I go up and down this new area that was created. Just to see, okay, well, what do I actually have to do here? And one of the steps I like to do, just to see if I can quickly do this, I want to keep some of this texture. You can't have something totally uniform. You just can't pick a color and then fill an area and then just call it a day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into quick mask mode. I'm going to create a quick mask here right around the area that I'm trying to, you know, essentially refine. And I'm going to sample a color that's right near here, and I'm going to paste it in here. Sorry, fill this area. So you can see it darkened it quite a bit, but now it's really uniform. But you can kind of see it's working. It's too much. So my next step would be to add some noise, because this is way too uniform, right? So let's noise, add noise, and we're going to add a little bit of noise. Now we can see if we want to do monochromatic or not. It's kind of gotta mess with it. Now I was doing this for other files as well, so I have some settings already done. But get a save in here. You can see now we have a nice but too uniform texture, which is nice. So now I'm going to chill this out a bit, and you can see now I'm using this. So I'm essentially just messing with the opacity. And I'm kind of seeing, okay, well, what do we need to make it look like it works? And I think it's right in here. And the opacity is about 40%. And if we zoom in, you can see that we're getting that nice texture. We're getting some of the good stuff that we removed in the background, some of those nuances that make it look real. And now we have our entire layout with a you know, the products down here and this nice extended background that we can put text on for advertising or for the web app or whatever. And now if I was going to make this even better, I would probably take some of this white part out because it's kind of messing with things, but I think it's good for now. Cool.